Thank you, Eric. Okay, our next speaker, candidate for City Council is Lyn-HBRA.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight and giving us this opportunity. A little bit about myself. I graduated from Huntington Beach High School and then went to UCLA to receive my bachelor's, and then down to the University of San Diego School of Law for my Juris Doctorate. And I was in a partnership law firm down there doing business and real estate transactional work. And I come from a family that is very dedicated to community service. And so right away, I became quite involved in my community down there. I was chair of the Community Services Committee of the Bar Association. And in that role, I worked with homeless veterans doing pro bono legal services to help them with their legal problems, to get them back off the streets. I also worked with battered women. I volunteered down at the court helping them get restraining orders. And I was chair, or rather president of the Gaslamp Porter Foundation, where we worked with developers to redevelop the historic buildings down there. At the time, it was panhandlers and dive bars, and really it's been so revitalized. It's a beautiful area today. But we had our children, my husband and I, and we decided we wanted to move back here and raise our children in this environment, this wonderful city. So we came back in '96 and bought our home, and right away I became involved again in my community because my daughter was diagnosed with autism. So as an attorney, I was approached by other parents and asked to sue the school district on their behalf because they weren't happy with the services. But that's not who I am. As I said, I've done a lot of community service, and I'm a collaborator. I'm someone that believes that we need to work together, and when people have differing and opposing viewpoints, let's find the commonality and work together. So instead, what I did is I became chair of a group called Autism Resource Circle, and we tried to really bridge the gaps between the school districts and the parents, find commonality. We did a lot of education. We did roundtable discussions where we would try to bring those two groups more closely in line because the teachers wanted to teach do the right thing, and in any case, we made a lot of progress there, kind of channeling funds away from litigation and more into better services. I then was appointed by Dave Sullivan to the Investment Advisory Committee and started learning a little bit more about the financial situation in our city. Became concerned. And then I was appointed to the Planning Commission and again started becoming more concerned about what I was seeing with development. I didn't have to be on the Planning Commission to see all the traffic and some of the other problems that were going on around our city that Eric was mentioning. That was pretty obvious, and as I talk to people around the city, that seems to be the primary concern that comes up with most people is what are we doing to the city with this high density development going on down the beach and Edinger corridor? Why do we have so much traffic? So if I were on City Council, that's something I definitely would also want to work on. I think that the fact that we are updating our general plan is a good thing right now. We all need to get involved and see that the direction goes where we want it to go. Another thing that I'm passionate about and would like to work on in City Council is making this more of a business-friendly city. We kind of have a reputation out there. I talk to business owners who they live in Huntington Beach, but yet their business is elsewhere because it's too onerous, it's too burdensome, there's a lot of delays, a lot of fees getting through the system. We need to change that. City Council is a policy-setting body, and we need to put policies in place that will change that. Same thing with economic development. Mike Posey mentioned the idea of really reaching out more to the business community. That's something I also believe we need to do. Maybe we need an ombudsman. That's just our whole role, is really reaching out more to the community and finding out what we need to change to bring more business, recruit more business to our city. I also just a very strong believer in our Constitution. And I think that any rights that the current City Council majority has done a lot of trying to curtail those rights. And the power is in the people in our Constitution. That's the way it needs to stay. And curtailing rights by passing these bans and restrictions without really compelling reasons, it's a slippery slope. We don't want to go down that slope. And so I think that without that very compelling reason, we should not be putting these types of bans in place. I think that one of the things I also would like to work on more is getting our fair share of state funds for things that we want to, like building the senior center. We need to get that senior center built, But you know, there are state park funds and other things out there that are available to us that we can try to seek, and I'd like to work on that. I also would like for the state and the county to not try to push the toll lanes down our throats. I think that's something we should all work on opposing. So thank you very much.